First up is a hidden use for the mysterious Rune Slate that you can find very early on in Baldur's Gate 3 within the Nautiloid. Seemingly useless, this Rune Slate actually has a use later on, so make sure to click on it when you first encounter it on the Nautiloid in the room with us. You will use it after completing the quest Help Omeluum Investigate the Parasite when he offers you the Ring of Mind Shielding. This is because you'll need to convince Omeluum to part with the ring since he says it is priceless. By proposing to describe the inner structure of a Nautiloid for him, you can roll a DC 10 intelligence check, which you will have advantage on if you read the Rune Slate on the Nautiloid, which flashed the schematics of the Nautiloid directly into your mind. So by reading this seemingly useless Rune Slate in the second room of the game, it will actually help you acquire the Ring of Mind Shielding from Omeluum. And next up is the best weapon in Baldur's Gate 3. This weapon is the Titan String Bow. This bow comes with a weapon feature which adds additional damage equal to your strength modifier, and it gets added an additional time when you use any special arrow. For example, an arrow of fire will deal its additional fire damage and also receive bonus fire damage equal to your strength modifier with this bow. The same goes for an arrow of Ilmater, dealing bonus necrotic damage and so on. Titan Weapon, that weapon feature, also gets added to Sneak Attack, which means with an elixir of Hill Giant Strength, attacking a target you have advantage against with a special arrow will add 15 damage total. Check out Astarion one-shot this ogre, dealing 44 damage with a single attack at level 3. This truly makes Titan String Bow one of the best weapons in the game, and to get the Titan String Bow, all you need to do is deliver the Caravan Strongbox to the Zentrum in Act 1, which means completing the quest Find the Missing Shipment, and that will unlock the special stock of Brem the Trader found within the Zentrum hideout. Once done, Brem can sell you this bow. However, if you really want the Iron Flask instead, you can also find the Titan String Bow later in Act 2, being sold by Landtarv on the main floor of Moonrise Towers. And next up is a message from this video's sponsor, Displate. Displate is a unique metal poster designed to display your passions. It's an incredibly refreshing alternative to paper posters and canvas prints, which damage more easily and are harder to mount on your wall. Displate has over 2 million different posters available in their catalog, so you can discover new original art or choose from officially licensed designs from the likes of Dungeons & Dragons, Elden Ring, Magic the Gathering, The Witcher, and so many more iconic brands and franchises. Dive into their brand shop section, explore, and find something that suits your style. Displate is also a platform for artists. Thousands of creators across the globe share their unique designs, paintings, and illustrations on Displate's metal canvas. I absolutely love Displate's magnet mounting system. It's tool-free, safe for your walls, and super quick. I'm not great at hanging things up straight, but when you use Displate's magnet system, you can easily adjust your artwork far more than any other mounting system thanks to the large magnet. Each Displate comes with a complete magnet kit, so everything you need comes in the box. No drilling, no holes, and no frustration. Mounting your Displates with a sticker leaf and a magnet takes only a few seconds. And an added bonus, you can easily swap your Displates anytime you want. Just take off your metal poster and slap another one on the same magnet. Absolutely amazing for when you want to refresh your space. Displate also offers fast delivery. Your new metal posters should arrive in 4 to 5 business days because all metal posters from Displate are printed in the European Union. Use that time to plan how you want to arrange them. Displate is also launching a brand new product line called Displate Textra and pushing the boundaries of what metal posters can be. From now on, premium print finishes will be available without limitations in a vast selection of pop culture metal posters called Displate Textra. A smart and personalized usage of tactile textures, 3D contours, and selective matte and gloss effects achieves this premium and unique look. Displate Textra Finish will be available from August 4th, 2024 on hundreds of best-selling Displates, and Displate looks forward to expanding the library of Displate Textras in the following months. So use the discount link in the description now to automatically have your discount applied at checkout, or use my code Toyhouze to get 27% off one Displate or 33% off 2 or more Displates through August 26th. And one final special thank you for Displate for sponsoring this video. I absolutely love my new Displate posters that are hanging on my wall, and I hope you enjoy them too. And next up is the Forbidden Arcane. If you purchase the book Onolithid's Volume XXVI from Omeluum and read it, it will actually provide you with an inspiration point called the Forbidden Arcane if anyone in your party has a sage background, which includes Gale. So if Gale is in your party, definitely make sure to purchase this book from Omeluum and read it, since it's an inspiration point that's very easy to obtain. However, this book is not for sale immediately upon encountering Omeluum. You'll need to progress the quest Help Omeluum Investigate the Parasite, and after completing completing it, this book will become available for sale. Now, interestingly, this very same book can also be purchased from Nancy Greta, the owner of The Bibliophile, which is a bookstore located in the Lower City in Act 3. So if you missed this book for your Sage in Act 1 and moved on to Act 3, worry not, you can still purchase it from Nancy for that inspiration point called the Forbidden Arcane. And next up is Omeluum's Boon. This is certainly one of the most missed quest rewards in Baldur's Gate 3. In order to get Omeluum's Boon, you must resolve the quest, steal a Githyanki egg without Lady Esther receiving the Githyanki egg. Then, in Act 3, you will eventually encounter Omeluum trapped within the Iron Throne. Omeluum prompts the party to not be concerned with his fate and to save Duke Ravengard instead. However, it is possible to save both of them. If you help Omeluum, he has an ability allowing him and one ally to instantly teleport to the submersible, so it's not as risky as it seems to save him. And if you do, you can return to the Society of Brilliance Lodge in Baldur's Gate to receive Omeluum's Boon. Now, Omeluum tells the party that he sought to have the denizens of the Underdark come to your aid, but that he did not hold sway over them and instead offers you this boon. Omeluum's Boon is a simple bag fashioned from a single piece of rough burlap, and inside of it contains a handful of helpful consumables such as potions, scrolls, weapon oil, and a fungal bamboozler. And next up is Maglubiyet's Faithful, the NPC most players miss. This is a goblin within the Shattered Sanctum who is trapped within a wooden cage. Instead of converting to worship the Absolute, Bhaal has stayed faithful to Maglubiyet, the goblin deity of blood and conquest. If you free Bhaal from his prison alive, you will be rewarded with an inspiration point called Saving the Heretic for companions with an Acolyte background, which includes Shadowheart. You'll also need to be careful when freeing him. Not only is the door to the cage locked, but it's also trapped, so you'll need a trap disarm toolkit. The key, however, can just be found on Warrior Clack, so you don't need to pick the lock. And next up is a hidden interaction with Benrin. This man is pinned beneath debris in a burning building at Joaquin's Rest. If you start a dialogue with him, he will ask you for help, and you'll have 3 dialogue choices. You can use your strength to remove the debris, look for something to use as leverage, or you can just leave. If you choose to just leave and then sit there and watch him as he bursts into flames, you will actually be awarded with an inspiration point called Fresh Kindle for the Fire during a Dark Urge playthrough. Very sinister indeed, and very fitting for the Dark Urge. And next up is an amazing hidden interaction with Bugthimble. If you dig up a certain grave within the Lower City graveyard, Bugthimble will appear claiming it's his. If you use deception on him and say it's your father's grave, you can get inspiration for anyone in your party that's a charlatan, which includes Astarion. However, there is a Dark Urge specific choice that lets you question whether you've ever buried anyone alive before. If you click it, you'll end up losing yourself to your urge, and you will hear the sounds of you stuffing Bugthimble into the casket, breaking some bones in the process, and then burying him alive. The dialogue ends with Bugthimble crying for help beneath a dirt mound, and then the mound can no longer be interacted with. And next up is Nina's Profane Ritual. Within the Baldur's Gate graveyard in the Lower City, a child named Nina is attempting to resurrect her dead brother. Calling out to Merkel, she isn't quite getting it right. However, if you choose the right dialogue options, you can help Nina succeed in her ritual. Doing so will award both Acolyte and Urchin backgrounds with an inspiration point, and also quite a bit of XP. It also will award you with a fight against a bunch of undead, so be prepared if you're going to help Nina reanimate the dead. And next up is Soulful Lobotomy. This is a hidden Dark Urge inspiration point that you can earn by stopping the Absolute cultists from erasing Minthara's mind, and instead do it yourself. You'll still need to pass some dialogue checks in order to make your way into Minthara's mind, but once you do, all you need to do is choose to erase her mind once prompted. If you do, you'll see Minthara talk in a very monotone voice, and more importantly, earn Dark Urge inspiration called Soulful Lobotomy. And from there, Minthara will be reduced to just a single dialogue line. Praise the Absolute. And next up, did you know that spiked bulbs cause bleeding 100% of the time? This is amazing with Bual's Benediction, which grants all party members advantage on their attack rolls against bleeding targets. And spike bulbs are pretty rare to come across. You can find find them early on in the Nautiloid during the prologue, but other than that, the only way to get them is by completing the quest Help Omeluum Investigate the Parasite and unlocking the ability to trade with it. Omeluum in the Myconid colony then becomes the only source for additional spiked bulbs, and the combos don't end there. If you have a Wild Heart Barbarian, you can cause enemies to skip their turns by combining Aspect of the Wolverine, which causes enemies to become maimed when you make them bleed, which reduces their movement speed to 0. Then you can follow that up with Diving Strike, which makes the target prone. When your enemy has 0 movement speed, that means they can't get out of prone, and therefore don't get a turn. And next up is a secret wizard scroll transcription method. Wizards are the only class that can learn spells by right-clicking on a scroll and selecting the learn option. However, if you love to save items for later, like me, you might end up with a ton of scrolls that you might want to learn. That's where this secret method comes in handy. If you open your spellbook, which is just to the right of your character tab, you can find a small button above your prepared spells called Learn More Spells. If you click this option, it opens a new window listing out every single spell scroll you have, showing the quantity of each scroll, the level of the spell, the gold cost, and which scrolls are in the School of Magic you get discounts in, along with how much gold you have at the bottom. You can even check multiple boxes to learn as many of the scrolls you want all at once. This secret menu is much easier to navigate than the inventory, so next time you plan on learning new spells, use this awesome menu. And next up is how to get some easy inspiration as the Dark Urge. When you first encounter the ogres within the Blighted Village, there are a couple of ways to get Lump's Horn, which lets you summon the ogres. You can offer them gold, or you can offer them the corpses of your enemies to eat as payment. If you choose the option offering the corpses and subsequently succeed the DC 20 dialogue check, you will be awarded an inspiration point called Creatures of Bloodlust and 60 XP, but only during a Dark Urge Origin playthrough. And next up is how to get Kith'rak Voss to join you. This is one of the most powerful allies you can get, offering you the Kithraki Inferno ability. This allows you to command the Red Dragon of Supreme Kith'rak Voss to breathe a wall of fire onto the battlefield, dealing 12d6 fire damage instantly to any enemy who's in the area, and another 12d6 fire damage to anyone who starts their turn in it. It is essentially a more powerful and larger wall of fire. However, unlike many of the allies' abilities, this can only be used once, so make sure to make it count. And funny enough, even though you'd think it's Kedanos breathing this fire, you can actually use this ability within the upper city sewers where no red dragon would be able to get inside. And next up is how to get Bhaal to join you. This is one of the best bonuses you can have during the final fight, which grants your entire party a passive critical hit chance increase by reducing the requirement by 2. Like other increases, it also stacks with other critical hit chance improvements. It also grants your entire party a new ability called Stunning Gaze. This costs just a bonus action and has a chance to cause the target to be stunned for 1 turn. Most bonus actions aren't nearly as strong as this, and you can use this as many times as you'd like, which makes this an incredibly strong bonus to have for your entire party. And to get Bhaal to join you, spoiler alert, you must defeat Orin and choose to become Bhaal's Chosen during a Dark Origin playthrough. Certainly a compelling reason to embrace your birthright. And next up are the Spider Step Boots. These boots grant immunity to Unwebbed and makes your movement speed unaffected by web surfaces. These are perfect for navigating and fighting the phase spiders and ettercaps within the Whispering Depths. And best of all, these are actually located within the Whispering Depths, so you can easily pick them up before you start combat. Just head left immediately after entering from the well in the Blighted Village. Within that area, there's also 4 journals, and if you read all 4 with a sage background companion, such as Gale, you'll get an inspiration point as well called a Solitary Spider. And next up is how to get a point of inspiration by rigging the game of Lanceboard in Act 2. If you save the Tieflings in Act 1, you can find Maul playing Lanceboard against Raphael in Last Light Inn. Raphael is winning, and you will have the option to pass a sleight of hand check to cheat and help Maul win. If you pass the check, at the end of dialogue, you'll be awarded with an inspiration point called Shuffling the Board if you or any of your companions have the Charlatan background, which Astarion has if he's in your party. And next up is how to get Maul to join you. First encountered in the Emerald Grove, Maul is the leader of a gang of refugee children, and her bonus in the final fight is actually quite great. It's a passive bonus which allows all party members to cast Rays of Fire, which deals 3d6 fire damage at the cost of an action, and all party members take 5 less fire damage passively, in addition to being granted plus 1d4 to charisma checks and saving throws. The reduced fire damage is great since you will encounter a red dragon atop the Netherbrain, and to get Maul's help, you'll need to save the tieflings in Act 1, and then in Act 3, find Maul in the guild hall after stealing her contract with Raphael. Now to steal the contract, you'll have to head to the House of Hope, and if you killed Raphael, you need to make sure not to mention it to Maul, and you'll also need to pass a persuasion check. But if you're a warlock, you'll have a warlock specific dialogue choice instead of the skill check. And with the nice passive bonuses, it's totally worth talking to Maul before facing the final fight. And next up is how to get Ulma to join you. Ulma is the leader of the Gur monster hunters. She can be first encountered in the Gur camp in Rivington in Act 3. Upon encountering them, you'll learn that their children have been kidnapped by Khazador's spawn, and they are seeking your help to rescue them and defeat Khazador. Once you defeat Khazador, Ulma will appear as you begin to exit the dungeon. If you stop the ritual, she will offer her assistance in the final battle as thanks for putting an end to Khazador. However, if you completed the ritual for Astarion, Ulma will attack you and of course won't be there to help you in the final fight. It's also important to note that depending on your relationship with Astarion, if you don't help him ascend through the ritual, he can leave your party permanently and take all the loot he's wearing with him. Although, quite honestly, Ascended Astarion is so powerful, I'd never recommend not ascending him for the sake of getting Ulma to join you, other than for role-playing reasons. And next up is the extremely rare Red Dragonborn in the lower city sewers. This Dragonborn is known as the Master of Flames and the Splitter of Skies, and will only appear if Voss is alive and the quest the Githyanki Warrior is in progress. This Dragonborn is none other than Kadanos, the Red Dragon, and is in fact not a Dragonborn. Voss and Kadanos are there waiting to receive word on whether or not you've secured the Orphic Hammer in order to free Orpheus so that they may defeat Vlaakith. And although Kadanos only has a few lines, it is pretty amazing that the very same Red Dragon that you encountered in Act 1 can be encountered again and talked with in Act 3.